Alright, welcome to another video on my Atlas O BNSF Dash 8. This is sort of an update video on how the engine is going, and yeah, this is basically my first 1 week of ownership review video, and I kind of want to document this so that if something goes wrong within the 30 days that I own this thing, I'd have proof that it was running fine and then it kind of degraded, and yeah, I could like appeal to the seller, letting her know that like this basically happened and maybe she could actually give me a refund. But that's besides the point. I do want to say off the bat, this engine is running perfectly fine, and I'm 100% happy with this engine so far, even though it has these defects. So I'm a week into ownership. I've run this thing pretty much every single day for like, I'd want to say 10 minutes or so per day, and it's not had a single hiccup. And I've been lubricating it, I've been taking care of it and everything, so it works like a charm. I've greased the gears so far 2 times, just to be on the safe side so that it runs smoothly. I've oiled the gears a couple of times, I've cleaned the wheels and so forth and everything. It runs perfectly. Even with this issue, I am 100% happy with this model. I'm very happy that I picked this thing up. And a lot of people in the OGR forums are kind of bashing me, which, I mean, it's understandable that like they're concerned about the model being damaged or whatever, and, well, kind of the seller getting away with this. But personally, I don't mind this too much. I mean, there's thousands of things I could complain about with the hobby, and, well, yeah, basically thousands of things I could complain about the hobby, but really, if I did that, I would not be able to enjoy the hobby as much as I do. I mean, for me personally, this, like I said multiple times, this doesn't bother me, and the green kind of hides it in most lighting conditions. It's only when the light hits the model just right that you'll notice this. And if you, like, go low down, like eye level with the model, just kind of like horizontal to the side, you won't really notice that that issue is there. But for me, again, it adds character. It kind of adds a little bit of a story aspect to it. Yes, it'll kind of degrade the value of the model a little bit, because someone will see that and be like, oh, he must have damaged it in the past. But like, I didn't really do that. It just came like that. But for me, functionality is what's important right now for me. And the model functions absolutely perfectly, even with that defect. It runs exactly how my other Atlas O Dash 8 ran, so I know for a fact that this thing is pretty much defect free, and my other Atlas O Dash 8 was pretty much brand new. It just sat on a shelf for its entire life. I mean, yeah, it was a bit of an expensive price that I paid for this thing, but personally, again, I feel it went for a good cause. The seller, as far as the seller told me that basically her sister's husband passed away, and I think this is something that was a remnant of him, so they decided to sell this model just to kind of pay off some medical bills. That's at least what she told me. But yeah, I mean, I kind of felt bad. I didn't really feel bad. I liked this model. I didn't know that this thing had this defect at the time because it was just sat in the box. So I guess I can't really appeal to her saying like this is a problem, because it was kind of sold as is. But again, doesn't bother me too much. But other than that, this model is pristine, and it did go for a good cause. It helped pay them off some medical bills, which, again, went for a good cause. So I feel they kind of deserved it, since, yeah. But yeah, on the end of all in the subject on that. But basically, like I said, this thing runs perfectly fine. There's no problems mechanically. I'm going to be taking it up to the Model Railroad Museum again, hopefully, the coming Sunday. Not this Sunday, next Sunday. I'm going up to the Model Railroad Museum again. If I get permission to go up there, I know somebody at the club who gives me permission. He's totally fine with me coming up there and running my stuff over there whenever I'm up there at the museum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this engine for 2 to 2.5 hours straight while my sister is at her Orchid Society at Balboa Park. And if this thing survives the 2.5 hour long running session, then it is pretty much bulletproof, and it will never have any problems after, basically for years to come. Because that's a pretty big stress test, if you ask me, and I'm not going to run the engine by itself. I'm going to pull some cold cards if those will be available to me. I'm pretty sure they will be available for me to use. And so that's pretty much it for this video. Again, I'm very happy with the ownership of this model. I have no complaints for this model, except for, the obvious complaints I had with my previous Atlas O Dash 8 as well, whereas the switches on the bottom of the model are like recessed and they're a massive pain in the butt to use. But that's a minor complaint, because I only used those switches like 2 times when I first tested this model, in TMCC mode. So I only really use the run program switch. I mess with the smoke switch, even though I didn't really have to use that. But yeah, I only use the run program switch 2 times to program the engine with a new ID. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the only complaint I have for this model, the switches and all the controls being on the bottom. But other than that, it's a great model to run. I love this engine. It's very nicely detailed. I mean, nothing can really beat this model in terms of just looks. I mean, I would prefer to have a Protosound 30 locomotive, but this definitely brings back a lot of happy memories of my old Amtrak Dash 8, and hopefully I can get this thing fixed. And if that thing fixed, and if I can't, maybe I'll cannibalize this model. Maybe I'll take the main board out of this model if this thing survives for long enough, and I'll use it on my Amtrak Dash 8. If I can't do that, and then maybe I'll upgrade this one to Protosound 3. Who knows? I don't know exactly what I'll do with this model, but for the time being, I don't plan on cannibalizing it. I plan on running it and enjoying it for what it is. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for this video, and let's finish off the video with a quick running session of this really cool engine, and I'll catch you guys in a few seconds with the running session. So yeah. Alright, here we are, running session time. My track's a little dirty. If you hear sparking, then my apologies. I haven't had time to clean the track. And it's a pretty big pain to clean the track because I have to go under my bed and clean it. My apologies. So yeah, here it is running. Board works. There's the bell. I'm gonna shut up now for this loop and for the next few minutes, and let you hear it running. So that's pretty much it for the running session and the end of this video. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!